Hey guys, Sonic here from T2G and welcome back. So, today I'm going to be discussing, for probably the last time, my Frost Rework idea that I've been talking about for a long time. I think I started maybe my first video like over a month ago. But this is just, I've added a lot of ideas I've been thinking recently, and I do agree with Ratelius, and the Boobin main, that Vauban should be the next Warframe to get a rework, because Frost is good. Like, he's good where he is right now, but if DE changed something, a little bit of something, they could really make him a good Warframe. Like, as in people would like make him equal with frames like Limbo. I mean, he's already really good, but Limbo is practically invincible with the right build. Like, the problem with like Frost compared to Limbo has to constantly keep an eye on a timer, and Frost has to constantly keep an eye on health of his snow globe. So, yeah. They're fairly balanced, but Frost, I think, the DE's definitely have to play around with the numbers here. But this is just what I think would be good for Frost. So first off is I'm going to talk about Icy Avalanche, the augment first, and if you don't know what Icy Avalanche is, let me demonstrate real quick. So I've got 8 Corrupted Heavy Gunners level 100. So Icy Avalanche basically makes it so whenever you cast Ice Wave, you get sort of a weaker Iron Skin effect. As you can see by my Arcane Strike, 984 from 8 enemies. Like, that would protect me from 984 damage, but I don't really know how the math works for that, but it's definitely not as good as Iron Skin. So what DE could do is they could make it, like, be affected by armor, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna go with his passive for this, which I'll talk about that last. The last thing that I'm gonna suggest is, okay, so you see these 8 Corrupted Heavy Gunners, so we respawn them. So I have 984 Icy Avalanche right now. They need to play around with this a little bit, but if I cast this again on the same enemies, I'll still have 984. What they could do, they're going to have to play around with this, definitely, but when you do that, it would give you more. Like, it would, like, instead of 984, let's say it gave me 1,000. If I casted it again, it would give me another 1,000 on top of that. But they're definitely going to have to play with those numbers, because it seems a little bit powerful now that I'm saying it out loud. But yeah, they're going to have to play with that, but like that's an idea if they don't want it to be affected by his passive, which I'll talk about later. What I'd probably suggest is like every time you cast it, like when you already have Icy Avalanche, you'd lose like 10%. Like, you wouldn't lose 10%, you'd like, if you casted it, like, let's say I got 1,000, I would lose 10% on that, so I would lose, like, I would get 900 instead of 1,000 if I casted it on enemies, and, like, it would keep on going from that until I practically couldn't get any more Icy Avalanche. But then, again, that wouldn't work right. So, I'm just kind of crapshooting some ideas here. So, now about Freeze. So this is first ability Freeze. You fire an Ice Bolt, it freezes the ground. I have really low duration on this build, so it doesn't last very long. But it's one of those abilities that there's a single target ability that, like, it's a simple caster ability. It's just not very good. So what I would suggest is for DE to, instead of just like changing it, what DE could do is I could turn it into an Icy Battle Axe. I just have a weapon here. This is not what I want it to look like. Just kind of like a, ice handle, like kind of like a halberd or battle axe, if you know what I mean. And it would do, it would have 110 base cold damage, 40 puncture, 70 slash, and 30 impact, which is exactly 250 damage. Do the math if you want to know, but just like Excalibur and all the other exalted weapons, like that's their base damage. Since I can't use the Acolyte mods, then that means they're automatically less powerful. So yeah, 25% crit chance and 25% status. The only reason for this is because it cannot equip Chromatic Blade, and the augment would not be Chromatic Blade. Like, it would be entirely different from that. I don't know what they'd do with it, but DE can think of something. I haven't really thought about that because the freeze, the augment for freeze is just terrible. Like, No one uses it. So what I would suggest is like 25% crit chance, 25% status. It would have a really high cold proc though. So it would have cold slash, like it would have all of them. But since it's ice, it would have like higher puncture because ice is like really sharp, and it would also have like high slash. But impact, maybe make the puncture and impact equal. So another thing you could do, you know the Estella, right? That's like a Gara's slug cannon. Every time you hit an enemy with your battle axe, it would shatter a part of it, like a tiny part of it, and cause like ice shards to go around and like do like a 5, like whatever meter splash radius for like splash damage, and it would reform after the shatter happened. You could not break the axe with the shatter. It's just not possible. There is a way to break the axe, and I'll talk about that in a second. If you throw the axe, like let's say you do a charge attack, like I'm going to do a charge attack right here as my soul harvester, it would throw it, it would do like an overhand, like hold your hands over your head and throw it, and it would like land, let's say like, okay, so I do, let's go up here, let me demonstrate. So I do a charge attack like that, and it would do something like this. Like this is just like static core, kind of like 15-meter blast radius, ice shards going all over and doing 10 times the damage of the weapon, but it would destroy the axe on hit. And it, like, you might want to add like a cooldown to that, so it would like, you can't recast it for like 10, 20 seconds, well 10, 15 seconds or whatever, to make it like balanced. Yeah, and it would completely cancel the ability when you threw it. But yeah, and I know what you're thinking. So this is something you can do with Frost. So a snow globe, if you cast freeze on it, it removes the snow globe. What you could do is with the icy battle axe, let's say the icy battle axe here. Okay, let's just check. Okay, so let's say I had my snow globe. Instead of like just being able to destroy your snow globe when you hit it, because that is a terrible thing that no one should ever do, you would, when you press the fire button, you would not switch to your gun in your form. You would fire an ice bolt. Like let's say I fired like that, it would fire an ice bolt with my axe, and it would destroy the snow globe. So it would be very cool synergy, and it would cost the same amount of energy, the same stats as ice bolt. Wouldn't be affected by mods. So yeah. So next is Ice Wave, I think. Yep. Well, no, there's one more thing with the Blizzard Axe. Sorry about that. When you do a slam, it would cast an Ice Wave, kind of like this. Like, you do a slam, and immediately after it casts an Ice Wave. Like, just immediately. Like, kind of like, yeah, like that. And it wouldn't shatter the weapon. But yeah, but like, what I would suggest, it might be a little bit too powerful, but like, Ice Wave's base damage is awful. So make the base damage, make the damage of the weapon plus the combo counter. Like if I do this, do that, it would just be like, it would just do a decent amount of damage with like my ice axe or the Blizzard axe. That's an idea. Like it would do the same damage like with the Ice Wave, and it would just be over a while, and it would cost the same energy as Ice Wave, so it would just kind of lower your energy economy. But maybe. I mean, I'm just crap shooting ideas here. That might be a good idea. So next is Ice Wave. Now, besides with the axe doing the slam, what they could do is either just increase the damage by a bit, so like that and Avalanche to like scale a little bit higher, but that's not a good fix. What they could do is, with Ice Wave, it doesn't really do much of anything without Ice Wave impedance. So just make it so enemies get impaled on the ice spikes for like 3 seconds. Doesn't get affected by duration. So I would nerf it and buff it at the same time. And like just make it so like enemies would get like locked in place for 3 seconds. Like impaled on the ice spikes. That would be a cool idea. Yeah, and the next is Snow Globe. Snow Globes is one of, if not the best defense ability in the game. It covers a big area. It's 360 to protection from all bullets, and Not to mention you can rwby things with it, and if they hit a wall, they take a crap ton of damage. Like, look at that. He went from 3/4 of his health to that. It's just, Snow Globe is very powerful, and I would not suggest buffing it very much. Well, the only thing I would suggest is, since like Chilling Globe is a terrible thing, and like barely anyone uses it because it's not the greatest, make it so Chilling Globe is affected by mods. Like Strength would increase a 50% chance. If you had 100% Strength, it would increase it to 100% chance for enemies to get frozen, and Duration would affect the amount of time enemies are frozen, but maybe at like 50% because it's already at the base 10 seconds. Let me go on to my Chilling Globe. Yeah, 8 seconds affected by Duration. That just, if you had like 300% Duration, that would only be, it wouldn't be that powerful. Like ice, like enemies that are frozen still take, like they don't get status procced, so that'd be kind of balanced. But like, what also I might suggest is like with like just an overall buff to cold procs. Make it so you do like 10% more damage to enemies that are cold procced, because it's, I mean, sure they can't shoot you, but you can't really do that much damage to them. And also just make it so they don't, like the cold proc doesn't break when you shoot someone. Like if you have a cold proc on someone and you shoot them and you get them below 50% of their current health, the ice just shatters. So just like kind of take that out, or just increase the damage you do to them. Now, finally is his passive. So, it's really bad and mostly useless half the time. Let me show you what his passive is. Passive. With Striking Frost with the melee attack has a 10% chance to freeze the attacker for 20 seconds. Or 20 seconds is good, but it's just not the greatest. Like, you have a 10% chance to freeze the attacker, and if you're getting hit in those high levels, and you shouldn't because you're Frost, you will just die instantly with level 100 Corrupted Butcher just whacking you like 2 or 3 times. You're gonna die. Like, Frost is not the tankiest Warframe in the game. Like, his base stats are like 100 health, 100 shield, 300 armor. I mean, those are above average stats, but just no. It should not work that way. How I suggested it work, so if you haven't noticed, like if you've played Frost before, if you haven't noticed, every ability you do that, cold proc. Do this, cold proc. My Sentinels being annoying with the Artax, but still cold proc. Do Snow Globe. If you look really quickly, cold proc. I'm pretty sure Snow Globe doesn't put on a cold proc, whatever. Avalanche, cold proc. Even though Artax is on it, still does a cold proc. So every time you put a cold proc on an enemy, it would heal you for 5 to 15 health. DE can play with those numbers. But if you're at full health, this will work kind of like Atlas's Rubble mechanic. Every time you hit an enemy with a cold proc when you're at full health, it would give you kind of an armor bonus, like you see above my Ignis Wraith there, kind of like Atlas's Rubble mechanic. And they're gonna want to play around with this, but like you would have to hit like 20 enemies with a cold proc, and you would get 75 to 90% damage reduction. I don't know which one would be better. DE can find that for himself. It would count for Icy Avalanche, so you basically make Icy Avalanche last a long time. And yeah. So, and also another thing that I might want to add is, yeah, it would have a 30-second duration, the passive, and it would not be able to be affected by mods. Like, it would be completely locked at 30 seconds, which 30 seconds is not a very long time. Like, it would be completely locked, like, no matter how high, like, if you're running, like, 300% ability duration, which is high as you can get in this game, it would still be at 30 seconds. It wouldn't be a minute and 30 seconds, it would still be 30 seconds. If you're running 17% ability duration, it would still be 30 seconds. Like, yeah, 30 seconds. Like, don't make it any higher, don't make any less DE. And, yeah, and it would just stay there. Like, it might decay over time like Atlas's Rubble, or it might not. I would think I would like it to be not, and, yeah. Yeah, Atlas's Rubble mechanic is good, but Frost can be better. Now, we're probably going to want to buff Atlas's rubble mechanic to make it a little bit better than this, because Frost is already a great Warframe by himself, and Atlas is just Atlas. But, yeah. And the final thing, if I had a friend here, and I cast Ice the let's say all these, if I cast Ice the Avalanche, and all the Corrupted Heavy Gunners were still here, casted it, within, okay, what's my range on this? I don't pay attention to these things. So I have a 24 meter range on this, which if, okay, so the enemies are here. This is not accurate. Like, it would not, I'm pretty sure it actually would go this far, but allies, like, do not share the stuff as close as that. So just make it your affinity share range, which I have no idea what that is at base. It's just always there, pretty much. So, that like, just for the Icy Avalanche sharing, which would make Frost more of a team support. Now, I've had this problem so many times with, like, casting Icy Avalanche close to, my friend, Frosty. Well, you know him, I've had him in my I've been his friend for a long time, had him in quite a few videos. So, yeah, it would share the Icy Avalanche. I think that would be a really good addition, and, it would do a lot of good. It would make Frost more of a support and less of a selfish player. So I think that this could be a very good rework for Frost. Again, DE, I know you're already working on reworking Bobbin. Do that first. Frost is already a good Warframe, but he could be better. DE, or feel free to play around with most of the numbers and just make it work. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this in-depth video, and sorry for kind of zoning out a few times. I had to wake up at like 5 a.m. this morning, and it's currently noon, so I'm a little spacey, but I'm doing my best. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like the video if you enjoyed this and found it informative, and please, like, share this with your friends so eventually we can get high up there and get DE to notice this video. Hashtag make Frost great again. Sorry, I had to make a Donald Trump reference there. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.